The Fae Wars Part 5. So in the dream last night, the constable was talking to me about how the elder Fae gods who have done their healing have created a bubble in consciousness for those of us Fae. So when we dream of the Fae lands, they're either our own memories or they're in this bubble that's protecting us from the other Fae that evolved alongside of us. And we're all doing our part to transmute the old wars and the old energies. And that could be one of the reasons why these themes are actually showing up in our current reality field, is because we are actually collectively as Fae cleansing this. So the Fae god who called himself the Constable, who I talked to last night, he said that they agreed with Source Consciousness that soon the Fae will be able to use magic, but it will be under strict confidence. Like it will be under a very strict kind of rule structure. And it's because it's kind of like training wheels to help us Fae reintegrate and transmute our old stuff. So whereas before we could have just manipulated the elements willy-nilly, in what has been agreed upon by the Elder Fae Council, these elder gods, and also collectively the planetary goddesses of each of the Fae realms, because you have to think about it like how we have Mother Earth. Each of the Pleiadian worlds with a mother of their planet, they have that mother has a consciousness as well. So the Fae gods conferred with all of the elven mothers, the ancient elven mothers, that any Fae going forward, they can use magic, but only on themselves. And so the magic, you can't use magic to siphon energy off others. If you do, you're going to be thrust into your trauma, into your past, to go into your old horror landscapes to heal that. So basically, it'll force you to, decrease your frequency. So you're basically, you can become saturated with your old soul traumas. But the rest of the Fae who are willing to learn their magic, and there will be new magic, and he said, just be prepared, there will be new magic on the earth. But the magic will only be able to use on the self. So you can only use magic to change your own physical body and your own world. It won't change anybody else. And the reason why is because the Pleiadians got off of the whole thing about spiritual sovereignty. They got off of the prime directive of the universe they basically impinged upon the free will of others by having such power dynamics and imbalances between whether it was magical powers, whether it was artifacts, whether it was resources. They had such imbalances between each other that they need to not only do we need to heal, but that needs to be protected. All souls need the ability to discover their own magic, but their own magic will have to be used on them alone. So why I'm sharing this with you all, because I fully believe that about 90% of people who are in the magical communities have a soul that came from the ancient Fae worlds. Whether you were there only a couple lifetimes or whether that is the origin of your soul, that most people have a connection to the Fae realms who are attracted to magic work in this earth reality field. The reason why is because it's very similar, and that similarity breeds comfort and it breeds desire for us to reclaim who we were. Going forward, if you use your magic, if you cast your magic in such a way that you are trying to change or alter the destiny or course of another person's actions, you will be thrown into a lower frequency, and you will have to face the trauma of your soul's past. So, my advice, do not do magic work on other people. I mean, you can play, if you don't believe me, play around with it and find out in the next couple of years. But the constable was very clear of like, this is what's coming from source. It's like a program that's coming from the light codes. Don't do magic on others, only do magic on self. And I was like, okay, hey, that's, and I think that my higher self has been preparing me my whole life for this, because I had gotten this download about 30 years ago. I had done some magic work with a coven, and I had disastrous results. And so they just, my coven mates just told me that I was like, they told me that I was a weakling. And I couldn't figure out why my spells on myself worked out incredibly so, but my spells for other people were always disastrous, and it brought up a lot of trauma. Well, this is what the constable's saying. This is coming through source itself. And the more that we grow in consciousness, the more this contrast is going to be seen. Now, here's the big kicker. I actually asked the constable, I'm like, well, a lot of the Fae souls I've met too are also religious, like they follow the monotheism religion, and they don't think that praying for others is elemental technology. And he said the same rules apply regardless of what body your soul is in, and also what religion you follow. So you can wish people well. You can love people. You can sit there with them, but you cannot use your energy. You cannot give your energy. You cannot pray for them to have a different outcome. This is going to be very different. And we're going to see this, like, it's going to become apparent. And I was thinking about this all day. I was like, oh my gosh, how many times in the spiritual community do we send energy? Do we send out magic to help people? And if we do that, we're going to harm ourselves and probably them in the process. So the best thing we can do is teach each other skills, teach each other meditations, but please be careful in the coming years. Do not do spells or prayers or send energy work on other people. It might be quite disastrous. And I don't want to do this to fearmonger, but this makes a lot of sense if you think about it. If we are going into an age with humanity where we are promoting the sovereignty of all beings, it would be very bad to create spiritual codependent relationships by changing other people's energies and messing with other people's bodily energies. The best thing we can do is to get them into spaces where they can heal themselves, where we can maybe create a bubble, kind of like what these elder gods showed me. You can create a bubble, kind of like a little sauna for them to heal their own energy. Or you can give them crystals, have them around different elemental things like crystals and light therapies so that their body can heal. But there might be very dire consequences for us to do energy work on each other. So I wanted to share this, and I know that it sounds scary, but we have a lot of healing to do. This isn't going to be a one lifetime healing thing. This might take 100 lifetimes for our Fae souls to heal these wounds. And I know I'm just on my first lifetime of healing this. I have asked my higher self, and she said, this is the first lifetime I'm really, really awake to my soul and who I am and where I came from. But it takes a while. It takes a while to heal these threads. And so we're going to make mistakes. We're going to fumble around, but this might help you in the coming years to understand the energy challenges that we will have, and also to give you hope, because there's a lot of beings out there helping us.